Yeah, don't just move. If you eat kepa.
I tell you, the message is clear. Everything you need to know about Liberia, just tune to. The frequency is 107.5, 101.1, 95.5. On social media, it's Spoon TV, Super TV, Fabric TV, Spoon Talk on YouTube. Let us say good evening to my people right there, Liberia, outside of Liberia, diaspora, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. This is Spoon Talk.
What I want? Yes, what you Yes, what you
Again, the panelists are going to line up. Bring you top-notch presentation, making sure every issue is analyzed. You talk your own, other person come talk their own. Everybody voice is just important. Your opinion matters. So let me say good evening to you. My name is Lorena Honoree. I am your tonight's producer. It is the 27th day of March. Somebody celebrating some occasion. We say congratulations to you. We appreciate you and we congratulate you. Right here on Spoon Talk, you're struggling from something. We say, hey, we are praying with you right here on Spoon Talk. Started to leave Liberia. We say goodbye. Bon voyage. You're going to come again. Sweet Mama Liberia. You just got in. We welcome you. You are very, very important. Wherever you are, you're watching the show via social media, Spoon Talk, on Super TV, Fabric TV, or even on YouTube. We say thank you for subscribing to the channel. You are still subscribing. You are very, very important to us. Share the show, in your various groups and, different social media platforms. Make sure that everybody knows that Spoon Talk is on. All of our partners, known and unknown, you make sure you relay the show so that your people in the counties and the villages and the towns can listen to the show on the radio. You are highly appreciated. Voice FM, we say thank you. It's time now to talk about everything and anything, and our people can put the calls through now, 077771075. So many things are going to be discussed today. Juicy stories in the country. People say, let me wait, I will listen to it on Spoon. A Spoon is talking for me to hear. You just let your way, we hear on Spoon tonight, They go into the argument booths and they debate, but then they are not satisfied until they get it clearly on Spoon Talk. Place, we can get incredible information before we break the news down for all the event that unfolded today. We'll talk about it on Spoon Talk. My old man, roasting the cassava, says she's also listening on her phone, her button phone, 107.5. We welcome you, man. Thank you for being there.
You want to know what
everybody listening, we welcome you. This is Spoon Talk right here on Spoon 107.5. And I'm your tonight's producer from the Schools Studio. We welcome you. All of those watching, share the show, tell us where you are watching from. Be a part of the program. Call us now and let's hear your voices quickly. What is it you want to talk about today? The CDC program was held by Senator Nathaniel McGill, and it's going to be top on the menu today for discussion. Everything is discussed right here: politics, the economy, the economy. There are different pronunciations. We'll talk about the health sector, the education sector, everywhere to talk about it. Now we get involved in climate change as well. Agriculture sector. The farmers are increasing. So many young people farming now in Liberia. People leaving their career. A journalist yesterday says he's no longer a journalist, he is now a farmer. What for getting back to the farm, which is a good thing. Food security is very important in Liberia. You can't be hungry. That's the least thing, Cry for everything, but don't cry for food. So please share the show wherever you are, whatever you are doing. Say welcome. All of you watching via social media. If you have subscribed to the channel, I like YouTube, so I will always remind you to touch the notification, that bell that is there. Just touch it. So whenever Spoon TV goes live, wherever, you can follow. All of you are highly appreciated. All of the social media groups share the show. 077771075. 05551010075. Call us and make sure your issue is heard. That thing you want to talk about is time now for you to call us and make sure that people hear you. What is on your mind? What is that thing that you want to discuss? What thing you want to talk about? What is it? 077771075 05551101075. Let's get you first caller. Good evening.
Hello, good evening to Spoon family and good evening to my peace, loving people of the Republic of Liberia. Good evening to you, Justice Lauren Honorary Institute in Liberia. A great, beautiful Friday evening. The name remains constant and thanks to ES Kamal once again back to our Spoon Network talk show tonight.
You always first. Your introduction alone.
Says Lauren Honorary.
Yeah.
What I in my mind tonight have to deal with the incompetencies of leadership of President Joseph Numa led government. Joseph Numa led government seems to be embarrassment and serious setback to our society. What do I mean? I'm going ahead to lay down those factors that they are contributing as an embarrassment and failures to our society. Such as, let's take it from Madaseli regime. Madaseli ruled this country for 12 unbroken years with peace and stability. As he turned power over transitionally to President George Manuel Weah, wherein they presented, they printed him so ugly that he don't even know how to run common community leadership. But I think they made demonstrated leadership to the utmost surprise and immersed to the Liberian society by restoring peace and stability and transitionally, peacefully ever coexist in our country history. He turned power over to the most experience they presented to the Liberian society and to the Liberian people as the suspect of Nazareth or redeemers that come to take over for where we are. Can honor to all of the charisma or the problems to our society for the 2 year experience. See, where are we going? And so we be
077771075 05551101075. Call us and be live on the show right here. Want to make sure your opinion is put forth. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, my sister.
Good evening. You are live on the show, sir.
Hello, William. Where you?
If I say the weekend now, or what you do about it?
I will say something.
Just tell me your name. Where you calling from? We thank God for life.
Okay, thank God. That's one of the most important things human being pray for.
Yep.
Yeah, what is on my mind is that there are 2 things on my mind. And one, the most important one is about the road from Boma Bridge to St. Paul Bridge. I always I talk about it. Because they were going, just you are talking climate change just a few minutes. And the climate change will come and go to, just right now, as we're talking now, small traffic right to St. Paul Bridge on the police station to go. And the road, that small hole here, if you come, you'll see the hole. That small hole here, the people doing. The people, when they come, they stand a hole there. They will not know where the leader they go.
Okay.
And now going to release season, and the release season time, it will be small. It will not be small disaster for.
You
have a lot of people across here in Broadway. They're not talking nothing about it. The same way since 2020, we are opening a road to that place. There is Joshua. Up to this time, 6 years, they are not yet finished with the job. And I see what they want to do. They already worked about 2 years talking about that.
Thank you. Thank you. 077771075 05551101075. Let's talk to you. Good evening. What is your name? Where are you calling us from? Wow. Okay. I'm sorry. We'll talk to you. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes.
My name is Miri Kase from the Sokene OP Lusatao.
Okay. What is your name, sir, and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I have 2 concerns very quickly. One had to do with our DEA. Yeah, I'm actually calling on the government and international partner because the definitely is Labrador Drug Enforcement Agency. They are to help fight against drugs. But I want, if you are fighting drugs, I want you to be independent of drugs. I want for the government to please conduct a drug test for our DAs and officers.
Thank you.
And secondly, I keep talking about the radar. Money police put too plenty in radar. We don't know the difference between them.
Okay.
Please help us.
All right. Thank you very much. We're at Dubo Road today, and some motorcyclists were also complaining about too many police presence at red light. Yeah, they say, whenever they park, the police say they wrong parking and no specific parking place, so they don't run there these days, most of them. Good evening. Yeah. Hello, you're live on the show, sir. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what is happening on this side. You are not on. Good evening.
Lorino, good evening.
Good evening. Yes.
Thank you, Lorino. So good for Vena is my name. Member of United Party Intellectual Bureau. I'm calling for to be so for you to be Fisher Bro community.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, Lorena.
You're live on the show, sir.
Hello, Lorena.
You are live on the show. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Lorena George Mova. I'm joining you on this crisis in Mother County DC Camp Community, Lorena.
Go ahead,
Thank
sir.
you so much for your platform, Lorena. The thing on my mind today, Lorena, I just want to appreciate you and also commend the President, President Joseph Numa Bwaka, for a hard working. What? President Bwaka, please, President, I know now you want, you can do all. Boy, those that honor you, the youth, I know the tree. We don't chop in the country. Every day, chop. We can see some worker. We voted for you. Up to now, we're waiting for the job. Some of our documents, we got registered. They didn't our parents out to school to learn, to do something for ourselves. We're renting.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
People there enjoying. But
thank you, yeah.
When the job comes, they select only picking 2% worker. Today, that job mother speaking. You know me too good, President Bwaka. Please listen to all. Every day we cry when trucker they can't get all job, President Bwaka. Why would you to the country, other people there? Answer you, President Bwaka. Please, local, you call for meeting at the youth at the document degree. Please, you can see it. But we not get all.
Thank you. 0777710750 555101075. Good evening.
Good evening, my sister.
Yes, you're live on the show, sir. What is your name?
Yeah, I'm Eric Smith, and I call from Niggistan area.
All right, Alex, you're live on the show.
My issue has to do with our legislators. Look, the people, they are not doing well for the citizens of this country. They behind you get follow-up for him making a statement. So who were the cause for the Guinea to cross the border to enter on our land? They investigated people.
Thank you.
Need are coming up, man. Some for the president. President, you might see that the people that they still be running after. One way for them to start money in a reward to bring a problem. But for Jacob to make statement, that's the one they're focusing on deep in the main issue.
Thank you.
See where our country is going? Thank you, my sister.
You're welcome. Yeah, straight to the point, just like that. That's what we want. 0777 1075 1075. Good evening. Yes, what is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Oh, good, my sister. How you doing? This is Jim from Timau.
What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, my sister, thank you. Thank you for the show. I know the government is a listening government. Mr. President, I appeal to you this evening. We are facing a lot of problems here, particularly in Kinjo, the issue of the police depot. Since the people are born a police depot, there's a lot of people who are false for here. What people will tell them to investigate. Appealing to you to prevail on the complaint or to use your means in order to build a police depot that is Kinjo, Banki Makande, to the concession area of B. Martin. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, sir. 0777 555 1075 call us and be on the show Let's talk to you. Good evening. Okay, we'll talk to you. Good evening. Please lower your monitor. Your name and where you calling us from? Good evening. You are live on the show, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Arena. This
Okay.
is Princess calling from the United Party Intellectual Bureau, the BPS7 15
Okay, well, go ahead, Princess.
What is on my mind this evening is concerning Yeke Koluba. First, Yeke Koluba. Arena, if you ask me whether Yeke Koluba should be a spare, I will tell you yes. The thing is that two countries into argument. In a village in town. In a village in town. Don't put the politics aside. Don't put a United Party politics aside. That country you dealing with here, and you go and tell other countries say, oh, they place here for you, and you know the profit is already there. You say they place here for you. Why you think you to your country? You're not selling your country. So if you ask me for not to stay, I would tell you say yes. And another issue concerning transportation issue. These drivers, keke rather, motorbike rather, they should start stealing from passengers. The government never keep up to tell you say no gas in the country, but you put gas price up, but you put transportation up. You will not believe it, Lorena. From Douala Red, keke rather, they were charging people $300 in keke to go Red.
Wow.
$300. Seriously. You get rid of the price up to 900, and you take it 4% in the keke because city to the 5 going to the front. You take it 300, Lorena. So go and if you go to a station, you not get more than that 900. What they should be stealing from the citizen and everything they say the country going at the country going at it. Those are saying the country looking at it, they don't want stealing from the citizen because they don't get good half of Mama Lapiro, but Mama Lapiro will still rise on President Joseph Nima Paka. Thank you.
All right, I tell you, we'll take one more caller because we'll have to bring on Dr. Rudolph Burbler and very soon, and some guests to talk about autism. So if you're there, we are here. You know your show is on. All the discussions are going to happen tonight. We'll take one more caller, just one more caller. Good evening. Yes, what is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Thank God, I'm the last caller for now. But to be frank, I'm very much happy with our president, Jesus Network, JB Pastor. I don't know why people can be so bitter with our president, and the president is doing amicably well.
Okay.
I don't want anybody to think that the president is not doing justice for this republic. I'm so happy that he's taking this diplomatic mission towards the southern affairs at the Liberian-Guinean border there. So let this God spade a spade. JP, Jesus get blessed. Thank you. Good night.
All right. Well, that's it for now. I know we're still going to take some callers a little on, but very soon we are going to be joining Dr. Rudolph Monsieur Burbler. Good evening, sir. You're live.
Good evening, Lorena. Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. You hold it down pretty well.
Yep.
Every Friday, we look forward to seeing you, to hearing you. Thank you for all you do. You know, Lorena, this month, March, is International Women's Month. So we want to shout out again to all of the strong women who hold it down across the nation and around the world, Liberian women everywhere. And we certainly want to shout out to you, you and TT and Dr. Francine, all the ladies with the Spoon Network. Thank you for being who you are and for representing the way you do. So we truly appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. So, the people wondering, Dr. Burbler is on, what is he going to be discussing? What is he bringing to the table for us, even before they start other discussions?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about dry rest and palm oil, but we're not talking about that right now.
Number 8.
We're not talking about that right now, but we'll have a great show tonight, and a lot of interesting topics. We do have a group that's going to join us shortly, Lorena. They're going to talk to us about autism. And, truth be told, So we even get that word before, sir. Autism, what is that? And they're going to come talk about this very important thing and show us how we can all get involved. I know you always get involved in great causes, whether it's heart and other things. So we'll hear from them. We're going to call them on in a minute so they can come and share with us and educate us and inspire us and give us some direction how we can be able to help in this area. So let's bring that on, Lorena. Let's bring it on.
All right.
Okay. Yep. Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on the show. Come on the show, people.
Yep.
Come on the show. Okay.
Okay.
Who else is coming? Let's see you. Let's see you. There is Vanessa.
Yeah.
Courtney
Dominic is not, he's in the back, but okay, there is Courtney.
Okay, there's Courtney. Courtney, hopefully you're not driving, right? Because when you get home after the show, you don't have to go to heaven today. Okay, very good. Very good when you get home. Vanessa, anybody else joining you?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we have a mom, Anessa. She was on the. She said she was waiting. She was on.
Okay, is she in the back? Lorena, is she in the back?
No, I don't see her.
Okay.
Okay, all right, I see her.
Okay.
Yeah, she's there, sir.
So this is the team, right?
Yes, this is the team.
Okay, great. So, ladies, welcome to Spoon Talk. Welcome to Liberia's network. Welcome to the place where we talk important things that can help change the landscape and the condition of Liberian people. Lorena is one of our hosts. She holds it down every Friday. So if you haven't watched Lorena on Friday, start watching on Friday. Okay, start watching. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have a great show. So please share the show. On behalf of CEO, I say like he would say, share the show. So share the show. Participants, share the show. Tell your friends to just catch us on Facebook, on YouTube. We are on the radio. So tell them to just go to Spoon Talk, and they will find us right there. Spoon Talk today, and they will find us right there. So welcome. So let's get into it. Let's start with introduction. Let's start with introduction. Just tell us who you are, your professional connection, and how you are related to this thing we're about to talk about called autism. Let's do the little intro. We'll go around the room, and then we'll come back to start to talk about the main thing. So let's start with introduction. Let's start. Vanessa, you go first.
Okay, I can go. Hi, everybody. My name is Vanessa Wilson. I have a master's in social work, and I completed my hours, my supervised hours for applied behavior analysis, and I'm preparing to take the BACB board exam. I have been working in the field of autism for 10 years now, and I really, really, really love working with kids. That is like my passion. While working with the kids, I've worked one-on-one with children. I've supervised staff. I advocate for parents when we go to like meetings, or we go to coordinated care conferences, and then just advocating for kids on like the services that they need and deserve here in Minnesota.
All right, thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate it. Courtney, let's hear from you.
Hi, my name is Courtney Domingue. I am a board certified behavior analyst. Been working in the community and with the population of autism for over 10 years now, and really working on community impact and just really helping and supporting all of our families and the community overall.
Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate you. Anessa, let's hear from you.
Hi, my name is Anessa Stewart. I graduated from the AME University, and then I run a restaurant, Lupus Enterprise, or Lupus Restaurant is located at Mama Point, OCIU.
All right, thank you, Anessa. Thank you. Kathy, let's hear you.
My name is Kathy White. I'm a speech language pathologist here in Indiana, and it seems very far away from you guys. I have worked in the field of speech delays of a variety of types for about 25 years, focusing in the area of autism for probably the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let's hear from Ms. Bonner.
Okay, so I'm Judo Bonner. I'm an engineer, communication and information engineer by profession. I have a master's degree. I'm also the founder of Blooming Kaleidoscope, an organization here in Liberia that is doing autism awareness. And I'm also the mother of an autistic child.
Okay, thank you. Ladies, thank you for introducing yourself. We're going to talk. We're going to talk about, why you're here and all the things you want the Liberian people, friends of Liberia, and those who friends of autistic families to know. We're going to get right into it. So Lorena will be asking some questions too. But let's just start with this autism. Autism. The thing is, like I told you, everybody know the word, Let's talk about autism. Remember now, we're talking to a vast audience. So we got to talk in a way that my way and Mapu, Benedict and Baraka will understand too. Don't use all the big medical terms. You lose people. They'll be like, what are we talking about? Mm-hmm. So let's break it down as we need to, right?
Okay.
And let's talk to the people. What is autism? How does it affect individuals differently? What are common myths about autism that need to be corrected? Let's start there.
Some of the myths that needs to be corrected, and I'll just say in layman, but some of the myth is like autism is witchcraft, autism is voodoo, a kid with autism is crazy, a kid with autism have bad parenting, the parents are spoiling the kids, oh, look at this spoiled child, or like they just let him do whatever he wants to do. But that is not what autism is. Autism is a developmental condition, and it affects the way how the kid interact with the world. So it's not like they're trying to be spoiled or they're trying to do things that people are blaming them in doing. It's just the way they interact with the world. And what all of the kids with autism, even if they have delays in certain areas, they have more strength in other areas. And we're gonna, talk to the parents later so that they can go in depth about, because again, autism is a spectrum, so it's not like a one size fit all. Everybody is different. Every kid you meet with autism today are going to be different. So it's a spectrum. So it's going to look differently for each and everybody. So I think that both parents are going to give us like more insight on their kids in particular.
So you said something very important there. You said, people who don't know about autism, they say, they charge something wrong, they charge that voodoo, that witchcraft. And it's very important because, in our context, in Liberia, nothing for nothing. And, so even you drink dirty water, say, and the people they got top of this, they something to that man. So it's important because the mindset matters. Because the way I feel about it, the way I think about it, the way I understand it, is how I'm going to respond to it. So I'm glad you set it up that way. So let's Lorena.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You're very popularly well known. But go ahead and just do a little short intro on yourself. Then I want you to ask a question.
Lorena. Okay, my name is Lorena Honoré. I work for Spoon Network. I'm the director of radio here at the network. And I produce every Friday night on Spoon Talk. And I'm very interested in the topic, being a concerned person when it comes to human interest stories. And so autism has been something that has been, a challenge here in Liberia amongst a lot of children. But they haven't been, they haven't had the opportunity to get care, as, we see in other countries. So it's a good thing that you are discussing this so that people understand what it's about and if they can seek care and, especially where we go when it comes to the institutions, it's going to be a very good thing for us. So I just wanted to know what challenges do families of autism children face daily and what kind of support do caregivers need the most?
Anybody can answer.
Okay, let me.
I wanted to know the challenges families of autistic children face daily. You being a caregiver, you being there. What are some of the challenges?
Okay, I was trying to unmute my mic. It's
Yeah.
giving me issues. All right, so let me just take it from the point of a parent. Um, Using myself as an example, I started noticing some things with my son, right? At the time, he was 3 years old, but he wasn't talking, he wasn't responding to lesson in school. And as usual, his grandparents would say, "Oh, that butcher, he will grow older." And the butcher, they can grow slower than they can children. And I noticed a lot of things because I already had my first child, who's a girl, and I kept complaining that the things that she was doing at his age, he's not doing them. And everybody kept telling me that, "Oh, that butcher, and he will grow out of it." And we didn't know about autism at the time. And I just knew that something was wrong, and, something wasn't right. Fortunately for us, it took an expert from the UK who noticed him and recommended that we get checkup. And so we did. We took him to JFK, they diagnosed him with autism. After the diagnosis, as usual, because we didn't know anything, so we were depending on the medical people to tell us what to do next. But unfortunately, no one could tell us what was next steps for him. So another medical practitioner advised us to take him to Ghana. Unfortunately, at the time, it was during the Corona time, so we couldn't move him to Ghana. And we did like an online screening with one of the children hospitals from Ghana. Now they tell us that, okay, he has level 2 autism. We should get help. And I was like, but in Liberia, right, based on my search since his diagnosis, we haven't been able to find anybody to help. Like, the doctors are telling us, "Oh, no, yes, he has autism, but unfortunately in Liberia, there are no services for autistic children. You're just going to be coming to the hospital after every 6 months. So maybe one day, if somebody comes with a program, we can put him on the program." So those are the kinds of things that we were getting. And obviously, children with autism have these behaviors that we weren't even understanding at the time. People around us couldn't understand the way he was behaving. He's extremely hyperactive, so they would tell you hear things like, "Oh, the boy here too high, the boy can't sit down, the boy can't listen to his parents, why are you embarrassing your mom?" And those kinds of things. And don't forget, at this time he's 4 years old, going on 5. And so what you expect children at that age should be doing, he wasn't doing it. And there was no one to guide us to say, "Okay, this is what you need to do with your child." And so that was like,
Julia, what are some of the things that you at 5 you say you expect the child 5-year-old
okay,
to
so
be doing?
at 5 he was still not toilet trained. I have 4 children, so all my children, by the time they get to like 18 months, I start toilet training them. And by the time they're like 2 years old, they're good. 2-3 years old, they're okay, they can say they want to go to the bathroom and those kinds of things. But he wasn't even talking. He had no words. He was just quiet most of the time, even though he was hyper, but he wasn't saying anything. And all our efforts to toilet train him wasn't yielding any fruits. At the time, he couldn't hold a spoon to eat. He couldn't hold a pencil to
And he's
write.
5 years old. And he's 5 years
And
old.
it was, yes, 5 years. He was 5 at the time, right? Because we got our initial diagnosis when he was 4, right? But then a whole year had gone and we weren't getting anywhere with anything for him. And so those are some of the challenges that we faced at the beginning before we started doing a lot of research.
Okay, excellent.
I know if Anasa can come in with her experience too, that would be nice.
Okay. Okay, so and again, I want to say this for those who just joining us. Please share the show. Tonight we're talking about something that's very important. It's called autism. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the character of a nation is known by how well they treat the elderly, that are old people. They treat the children, that's so much in there, and then how they treat the special population. The special population of those with special needs and those with autism. We're learning tonight now of people with special need. And I don't care whether nobody in your family ever had these things or nobody in your community, anything that affect some of us eventually affect all of us. We're joined to the hip as Liberians and as people who have stewardship of humans. So we want to talk about it tonight. We want you to engage, we want to share the show, and we want to learn. I'm learning tonight, and we all can learn and be better equipped to respond to this population. So let me ask this question. Schools, right? Are schools equipped, okay, to support children with autism? And if not, how can they get equipped? How can communities become more inclusive? I will let any of the ladies respond to that. Y'all talk now. Y'all talk.
I can go ahead.
For me,
oh,
go ahead, Courtney. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want Alasa to share her experience because she's also a mother with a child on the spectrum in Liberia. And I mean, like, the challenges are just numerous. So my son is in school as of today. However, he's always been in school because I usually put my children in school at a very early age. But he wasn't initially when he got into school. We put him there at daycare level, and he wasn't responding to
A
anything.
public school or private school? That public school or
Private
private
school.
school?
Private school. It was a
Okay.
private school. He wasn't responding to anything. Like I said, he couldn't hold his pencil. He couldn't sit down. He was always jittery, moving around. And unfortunately, the school, they didn't know what to do about him. And even they didn't know that he had autism and he had those challenges. And they tried to do what the regular school would do, and he wasn't responding. And so he ended up staying 2 years in nursery. He ended up staying another 2 years in 2 years in daycare, 2 years in nursery before we finally discovered that he had autism. And in those 2 years that he was dead, all they would tell us is that, oh, the boy won't read. What you call it? He won't do nothing. He won't sit down. And those were the feedback that we're getting. But
Okay.
unfortunately, there was nothing being done about it. Like, okay, he's not doing this, but this is what we're doing to help him. Unfortunately, nothing was being done about it. And so I had an experience because I was, for me, I'm a solution-oriented person, being an engineer by profession. And so by the time I got my diagnosis, all I started to do was look for solutions. And so
Okay,
when
so
the school,
let me hold
when I
you there
wasn't
for a
getting
minute.
joy,
Yeah, but listen, let me hold you for a minute. Did you find that there were schools in Liberia
yeah,
that are
I'm getting
equipped?
there. I'm getting
No,
there.
but get that now, because we won't bring the other people in. Did you find that there
Okay,
were schools in Liberia that were equipped to serve the needs of your child?
two
Did you
schools,
find? Yeah, and
two
if so,
schools,
private or public, both private or private
private,
and public. So no public school you could find.
private.
Okay, very good,
No.
very good. Let Courtney, you wanted
so
to chime in. Let's
I
hear from.
wanted to come in first.
Okay, go ahead, Anessa.
Okay, so for me, my son is a bit different. So when I had him, he started reaching all his milestones. Like when he got to talking, 1 year, 2 years, he couldn't speak. So all he could say was mama, and ma. He was calling everybody man, right, around him. So, and like she said, in Liberia, they always say, oh, boys, children, they're slow to talk, they're slow to do things. And then it took 4 years, still no speaking. But he tried to speak, but whenever he tried to speak, nobody understand him. Even me. I'll be guessing like, okay, what are you trying to say? You want this, you want that, you want. I couldn't understand. So even when I put him in school, in a private school, the teachers couldn't understand him.
So clearly,
And
that school are not equipped to deal with autism, right?
no,
That's a regular
no,
school. Okay, regular
yeah.
school.
So and then when he was in school and I had contacted one doctor friend of mine, she made an appointment for me to meet one foreign doctor at JFK. That when they diagnosed him, then when they diagnosed him, he said it was like borderline autism.
Mm.
So I started to read about it, and he was like, "Oh, it depends how you train your son, or the pattern or whatever schedule you lay out for him. He might, grow other area or whatever. But he, as he grew up till now, he take his time to explain. Before you really understand him, he got to speak really slow. He still don't pronounce words the same. For school, you can't get nothing.
How
Every
old is your
school,
child now? How old is your child now?
he's turning 9 next month. Every school we take him to. So the previous school he was in, doing his early learning, like I think they were just, they didn't want to bother too much, so they just used to pass him to the next class till he entered a real school. The last real school he entered, the teacher called me and told me, "Plain like she was like, I don't think you should pay any other school fee because me and everybody used to say she's the best teacher. She know how to get to kids, slow kids and all of that. But she couldn't just get through my son. She
So
will
the
call
school
me.
your son in now is not equipped at all to deal with
He's
autism.
no.
But you got him in school so he can try to
So
keep
I
moving
got him
forward.
in one community school. I
Okay,
have a neighbor
okay.
that she actually takes her time, one on one with him.
Like
So it's
homeschooling?
not like
Like homeschooling.
yes,
Okay.
yes, one on one with him because every school I sent him to, he
He
would
can.
be the first time I took him to the other school, the last school, he couldn't even he was so scared. The students were too much, there were too many, and then the loud noise, he would be scared to speak.
Okay.
Sometimes she would say, "Oh, he can participate in school," but he wouldn't write tests or
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
But strangely,
Yeah. So he's dealing with all of the challenges of
strangely, he
autism,
will
and the
learn a
people working
lot.
with him don't know
Yeah,
how to
but
deal with it.
strangely,
Okay.
even to me, he will learn a lot from the TV
Okay, okay.
or
So
from mobile
that's one
phone.
way to teach. But how many of our people in Liberia got TV? That's the
Exactly.
second challenge. Let's hear from Courtney, and then I want to hear from Kathy. We want to try to do a 360 on autism, and then I'll bring Lorena in again for another question. Let's hear from Courtney. Courtney, share with us about this particular thing and your perspective.
Yeah, so I think that when it comes to schools, right, I do think that there is it a good attempt. Do I think that every school is prepared? No, right. Even here in the United States, there are several schools that I work with where where families are dealing with very similar issues where staff don't have either the training. A lot of times it can come down to awareness as well. I think one of the things that is hard for individuals on the spectrum is that it's what we call sometimes an invisible disability.
Okay, but
In the
wait now,
sense,
wait small, Courtney. Let me hold you. You know, you're using the phrase on the spectrum. Eh? What does that mean? On the spectrum, so the people can understand it.
yes,
Break it
absolutely.
down.
So, with the official name of autism is autism spectrum disorder.
Okay.
And they include spectrum because when you meet one individual with autism, that's one example of autism. There's a whole wide variety as far as their strengths, where they need help and assistance, right? You might have some people who are on the spectrum who have very good and high communication skills, but maybe they have really low motor skills, not being able to write or hold utensils. So when we say on the spectrum, right, I think that also brings some hard awareness issues, because it's not just one way that an individual looks.
Okay.
And so it's hard sometimes, right? And especially when, for instance, if we think of, if you have a broken arm or if you have Down syndrome, right? There's sometimes a physical reminder. Again, I'm not condoning that we need that, right? But for some people, seeing that reminder helps them, hey, hold on, this person might have just different needs, or maybe they need more time. So a lot of times I think what happens is that when teachers or members of the community might see people with autism, to them, they look like any other child on the street or in the classroom. And so they want to treat them and teach them like any other student. And that's where they fall between the cracks, because with autism, the brain works in different ways. It's not a bad thing. There are oftentimes many examples where the way that they are able to envision and think about things is a benefit. But because it is an outlier, right, because it doesn't fit into what majority of the community does, it's seen as scary and hard. Whereas I feel like if we could open more awareness in talking, because regardless of having autism or not, we're all different human beings, right? And we all have different ways that we learn. And some children or adults with autism might not learn in the way that is easiest for everybody.
Okay, very good. Very good. Thank you. You said something very important. You try to help us understand the spectrum, meaning every child will not behave the same way, but it's a spectrum. Child A behave and be a little different from child B, but they're all dealing with the same thing. I think it will be helpful for us, lay people who never experience it, people who are not working with it, to understand what are some of the basic symptoms that you look for when you identify. I mean, beyond the medical people, Juludo, you carry your child to JFK, the professional. But if I'm beginning to deal with that, if I'm Uncle Bropley and I'm just trying to see something with my nephew or my niece, what are some of those basic things you look for to begin to start thinking, maybe my child is autistic? Can you or Kathy or any of you share what are some of those basic things that people look for? Because the person don't know that this child is autistic or his children, they will not carry that anywhere. And then for us, in Liberia and other places in Africa, we say that that voodoo, that witchcraft, they incorrect. So what are some of the basic things? I know the spectrum is there, different behavior at different ages maybe, but what are some fundamental things that people can look for?
So, especially for children who are younger, some of the first kind of telltale signs might be not responding to their name, maybe not making eye contact, kind of playing by themselves, not smiling, maybe when you smile at them. Language delays can also be something. Maybe they get very upset out of nowhere, really, for things that we don't understand. And a lot of these times, these could be sensory things, maybe a sound, a feeling. You can also, it is common to see a regression. So maybe they had some words and then they've stopped using some of those words as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Feel
Thank
free,
you. That's
Kathy,
helpful.
or anyone else.
That's helpful. Let's hear from Kathy. Then we'll come back to Lorena, because I'm sitting here, Lorena, as a parent, and I can only imagine the challenges of parents. And this is something that's so important. This, like I said, a response to these things exposes, reveals the character of the nation. So we want to be a nation of character, a stronger nation where we put our arms around our vulnerable population, the parents, those families, and help them. So I'll come to you after we hear from Kathy, because I can only imagine what the parent have to deal with. And it sounds like this is long term.
Oh, yes.
You know, this is not take 5 pills for 3 weeks and you're all right. Kathy, what says you?
I would definitely agree. This is a long-term, a lifetime diagnosis to have to figure out how it's going to impact you. But what we have to look at is, it's not that your child is wrong. They're just different. We need to find, okay, how do we get from the different child that, how do we help this child who does this differently to be able to do those same things that other people need to do? And so, you know, one of those big areas that we run into a lot with our kids who have autism is that they struggle so much with communication. Sometimes it's a matter of confidence, sometimes it's a matter of ability. And so you kind of have to look both directions and say, what is causing us a problem today? One of the things that we have to remember is communication isn't just the words that we say. Communication has to do with our facial expressions. It has to do with our gestures. You can't see it because I'm not gesturing up here, but I talk with my hands all the time. And a lot of, you know, that gives support to what I'm saying, but to a child who doesn't understand those gestures, that's not going to help them. And so when we look at a child, when we come at it the other direction, we look at this child who isn't communicating, what we have to do is we have to find the most functional way for them to be able to get across what they want to get across. Sometimes that's words. Sometimes it's using picture cards like these that a child can flip through and find the picture that has 2 hands, and it said, you can't really see it right there. There, you can see it. It says help. They couldn't verbally tell me that they needed help, but by being able to show me that they needed help, it avoided them just having to have a total meltdown because they needed help and they couldn't get it. And so a lot of times those meltdowns that we see, those absolute moments of, you know, what people often would assume is they're having a tantrum, but really it's often that they just don't know what else to do to say, I need something and I don't know how to get it. And so as a communication specialist, as a speech pathologist, what my job is in the world of autism is to come in and solve that little piece of the puzzle and say, okay, what tools can we give you to help you to be able to express yourself? And, you know, looking at the fact that, excuse me, that in Liberia, this is just this is a baby program. We're looking at how do we start something to help a whole country to be able to help their kids to communicate. One of the things that needs to happen is that we need to find ways to help to bring resources to you. And the organization that Vanessa is beginning, that's her goal, is to bring some of those resources tonight to like night.
Okay, very good.
But to bring some of those resources to you so that they're at your disposal.
Very good, very good. Thank you. So so you're doing some stuff in Liberia to create awareness, to help get us to a place where we're finding solution, and to this very important segment of our society. So let's talk about some of the things you're doing. Lorena, can you put that first one up? Let's talk about some of the things you're doing. I see you're doing something here coming soon on April 2nd. Can you take 30 seconds and throw some light on this, Vanessa?
Yeah, so we're partnering with Dr. Kamara, who is partnering with Spot the Spectrum that's in Ghana, and they're in like different African countries. But what we're trying to do with this is create free screening, because right now we're lacking data. And the screening don't necessarily means that your child had autism, but at least now we have some kids that we might have to refer out to a psychologist, a doctor, or a psychiatrist to further explore what their diagnosis might be, right? So this day we're doing a free autism screening. It's just going to be a couple of questionnaires just to see like some of the things that Courtney was talking about: eye contact, social communication skill, like reciprocal conversation, just how we're doing this right now. Some of the kids don't have it. So just asking those questions to kind of have some little idea. And then once we're done with those questions, then we can say, oh, they're above a certain skill. So then we can refer them out so that the professionals can come in now and say, okay, let's dive further in to see what's going on with this kid.
So this screening across Liberia now, meaning Monrovia?
It's in 10 counties.
Oh, 10 counties.
Dr. Kamara couldn't find volunteers for the other counties. So for this year, because this is an ongoing thing, for not just even this year, for this particular one, April 2nd, it's going to be in 10 counties. Yes.
10 counties. Very good. That's incredible. Lorena, let's put there's something else you're doing. Let's put that other even not a call for sponsorship, but the other one. Okay, so this one's on the 11th, right?
Yes.
Saturday on the 11th. Say something about it real quick.
So we're doing an autism walk. We're just standing together with families, with kids. We're standing with them to know that this is something, is like Courtney said, it's an invisible disability, right? So we're standing with them. We're seeing the child. We want the country to learn the difference, and we want them to end the stigma, because there's a lot of stigmatization connecting to autism. So this walk this is the initiative for this, but also at the walk we're going to have engaging activities for the kids. We're going to have sensory station, etc., and we're also going to have people speaking there. But we just want to stand together with the family that are going through this daily. Like there are kids that have meltdowns throughout their days, and parents don't understand what to do. We want them to know that they are not alone, because right now they might be home sitting watching this and saying, oh, this is real. This is not just me. This is another family member going through this. So we want them to know that they're not alone, and we're all standing together as a country for this.
Thank you. This is so important. Lorena, you got a question?
The autism awareness is still low in Africa, especially in Liberia. I just wanted to know, what role can the media play in changing the perceptions?
The media can just help us with just, and like today, Spoon TV bring us on. We really appreciate you guys for bringing us on and shedding light on this, right? And then also just as all of our flyers, things like that, just giving that out to people. I know that's one of the barriers that we also have. Not everybody have the media. So this is one of the barriers that we have as well, because the media is not accessible to everybody. But for those that have the media, we can just play it. They can watch this live. We can share it, and then we can also just let them know we're trying to go on a couple more radio station to actually dive deeper, because we have 1 hour, right? And everyone is talking, but to dive deeper on like autism, how can we provide the support? Like the workshop. So maybe the media can help us with promoting the workshop so that people are coming, parents are coming, family members are coming, the community is coming. You don't have to have a kid with autism to come, but you might have a neighbor that have a kid with autism, and you might want to support that neighbor. So understanding is the first step. You have to understand what autism is to support that neighbor. So we just want everyone to come to support this.
So the awareness, the level of information and education is so critical. It begins with the mind, and then we shift our attitude. A long time ago in Liberia, the people with physical disability, we call them crippled people. And we used to put it as these crippled people. And then we changed the lingo. And we said, these are our brothers and sisters with physical disability. Today, we've gotten to a national level where we support them. This is the same thing. It's a population, it's part of us, and they have challenges. I want to ask, and that's then we transition, because we got to wrap this up. Got other things we want to talk about tonight. But I want to ask, and as a parent of an autistic child, how, what kind of support you get from family and the community, and what kind of support you would like to have, that you wish you had as a parent of an autistic child?
So, as a parent, I wish I had like knowledge, like what we were saying about the awareness. But then again, I don't, from looking at the country I find myself in, Liberia, a lot of my friends or even my families, they don't know nothing about autism. So there's no way they can really, give you that support. So all they had was saying like, "Oh, don't worry, you will be okay. You will talk." And only few people that would travel and come when they meet my son, they would be like, "Oh, your son, he's special. He's a special kid." I kept thinking what they mean by a special kid. So, but going forward, all we need is support through the schools, making our schools in Liberia, especially the government schools, special kids friendly, you know, having trained teachers and making sure that other parents be able to talk to their children at home to stop the bullying, not because your friend is different or she can speak or he can speak well, meaning you should bully him or laugh at him, you know. So it's just everybody coming together, putting our hands around each other and be able to encourage everybody, because there are some parents that don't even want to show themselves because of stigmatization. So they
Yeah,
scared,
stigmatized, right,
yeah.
right. They feel
So they
shame.
scared,
Yeah,
yes. So they scared that people will stigmatize them, telling them, "Oh, your child is this. You wish they that." Like, it's a lot. Emotionally, it's draining. Having to explain to every person you meet why your child is different is draining. So if there
very
was
good.
more awareness, a lot of parents or a lot of people will know when they see this child, they will know, they'll figure out that, okay, this child is special, instead
Thank you,
of
Chief.
just judging them.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very important. I'm sorry, Dr. Catherine Tuckett Kamara is not on tonight, but, we're listening to all of the parents and the experts who deal with it, and the people trying to bring awareness, and we applaud you. I'm reading the comments, and the comments are good. People really want to know about it. And so we thank you for the exposure, the advocacy. And, we end your segment by you telling us how we get involved. But Dr. Tuckett Kamara has a school on the Oro, and this whole thing, and the parents I'm sure will agree with me, it's about being able to serve the children in an environment that is equipped for them. And I visited her facility. We support her. They had a big thing at City Hall, and then I know Mrs. Amane Johnson from North Carolina did some training and workshop and thing. But it has to be a bigger effort. So when it comes to having schools that are available to help Miss Bonner, to help Miss Stewart, and all the other parents, they wanted that in the woodworks. Because I'm confident that by the time you do all this awareness, more people will feel confident and unashamed to come forward and say, my child has a problem. So I want to ask Kathy and Courtney, in a country that understands this population, that addresses it from a public school perspective, public sector perspective, how can Liberia, a nation that's just getting started, take some baby but important steps to get to a place where we have the facility and ability to serve our children? What can you share with us? Some things that we can do here to help us to graduate so that the children who are autistic in Liberia are also attended to. Ladies?
I think you made a really good point when you were talking about the fact that there was a time where people with physical disabilities in Liberia were just pushed to the side. That happened here too. We had institutions where if you had a physical disability, that's where you lived and you never came out. And now that has opened up and we serve those people within our communities. But what has to happen, and I have to admit that I feel like although we talk a good talk, I don't think that the U.S. definitely does the job that it should do with supporting our people in the community. but that's where it is. We have to look and see, where are the people that we're trying to serve? Where is Anessa's son? Where is, I'm sorry, I forget how to pronounce your first name. Where is Miss Boner's, where is her son? What do they need today to be successful? We need to look at today, but plan for tomorrow. And if we can't look to see where we are now, we're gonna lose kids in the transition.
Okay. Kathy, Courtney, what do you want to add to that? We're trying to find ways to take small but significant steps so that 10 years from now, Liberia can be in a way better place where we can serve the needs of our children in this particular special need group. What says you?
I think the easiest one thing that everybody can do is give each other grace. Assume, right, that everyone is doing the best that they can. I think going in and instead of, when you see the mom struggling with their child having a tantrum in public, instead of going straight to what is that mom doing wrong, more of, oh man, that's been a rough day, right? Maybe I can help in some way, right? Mm-hmm. Looking at the world in a more positive, but I think giving grace and understanding is one really big important step, which, seeing from the comments, I think that advice can go across the board with everything, not just specifically with autism, but if we can kind of change our outlook of everyone is doing the best that they can.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Great. This is super. Did you want to say something real quick, Vanessa?
Yeah. I just wanted to say too, it's just like, because autism is not my thing, your thing, our thing, it's a whole country thing, right? So the partnership and the capacity building is very important for this. So that could be people in the diaspora or anywhere that are like occupational therapists, speech therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, because special education teachers just chiming in, finding ways in which they can support this. Because as Judo said, she couldn't even find someone to diagnose her son. So it's not even just the autism, it's just like, where do we go for these supports? So just partnership and capacity building, I feel like it's like one of the steps forward for us. And it don't have to be like a big thing. It could just be few people coming together, working together for one big goal.
Thank you, ladies. I'm so grateful to you that I'm glad that the network brought you on. This is so important for us as a nation, as a people. We have to take care of our children, and all of them. So I want to take some calls. The comments are overwhelmingly positive. A lot of people said they never heard anything. They want to know more. And then we see a lot of comments from people who themselves are professionals in this area, and some are parents. So we're going to take some calls. It's always good to go right to the source and let's hear from the people. Lorena, let's put some numbers up for Liberia, and then we'll take some calls from the U.S. Let's start with the people on ground.
Okay, so calling in Liberia, the numbers are 0777-771075 or 0555-101075, 0777-771075. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Lorena, and good evening to the people in the studio.
You are live on the show, sir. What is your name?
All right, my name is William Hines, and I'm from Cardwell, New Jersey, a professional classroom teacher. Good. I really appreciate the fact that they raised the point. I think the Ministry of Education should see it necessary to involve most of these studies in the school, most especially in the primary area, because this is where students struggle most of the time to get themselves acquainted when it comes to these problems. And sometimes in our setting, when we notice these things, and what the lady was saying, we sometimes take it to be something different, like a special child. This child is blessed. This child will talk later on. But all of those things, these are things that I think The government need to pull his around and visit the various schools and see how best to assist them. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll take this caller. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the show, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Your name, please. Where are you calling from?
My name is Anthony Bade. I'm calling you from Johnsonville in Queensville.
All right. Make your point quickly.
Thank you so kindly. So I have a son. My son is 7.
Hello?
Being a serious. Yeah, hello.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so I had this concern with a slow writing pace.
Okay. All right. He wants to know, about his son is slow, he writes slowly. Good evening. All right, 0777-771075. We'll take more callers. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, you're live on the show.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Edward W. Sanoji and I call for Central Virginia Back Settlement.
Okay.
My sister, we who live with disability, I'm one of those who live with disability in Liberia. It's like we are born in hell. Hell. Because let me tell you something. Many after birth, when our mother regains consciousness, rejection starts right in the hospital. So I love this program to educate our people so that they will understand that people born with disability or the autistic children you're talking about, they are human and they can contribute.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, take more calls, Dr. Problem.
Yes, let's take more calls.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, you're live on the show, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm actually off in Bakersville.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the project because I have a son who is 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been concerned about his condition. We've been confused seriously. We went GFK, there was no way. We're getting still, we just kept praying and then looking at him as he growing up. So one time on the internet, I decided to go through the Google and then put in child I was born with, and I had a list of rare condition and autism. That's how my husband and I decided to go through it.
All right.
And just people discussing, I just want to observe of the child. We don't have direct contact with him. He don't smile back. The way we expect him to behave right now, at his age, he's not doing it. He loves to be by himself. He plays by himself. Yeah, it been worrying us. But since we came and saw other things, we've been reading about it. My husband and I just tried to show him more love and then pay attention to it. So we're really interested in the program.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. 0777-771075, 0555-101075. Our overseas number is scrolling on the screen in case you want to call from outside of Liberia. But those in Liberia can call us on 0555-101075 or 0777-771075. Good evening. Okay. Call us on 0777. We have another caller on the line. Good evening. 0777-771075, 0555-101075. All right. We have the overseas number scrolling.
So let's let's take a few from here. Let's take a few from here, Alarina. Let's take a few. Good evening. You on Spoon Talk?
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Brooklyn. How are you? My name is Moses Sandy. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's quite interesting watching you guys on Spoon, trying to introduce a very important, but not only important to those who are directly affected, the parents who are directly affected, but our country, as a whole. we live here in the States, work with people with autism, and those conditions does not define anybody to be less of a citizen in society.
Right.
People can have autism and do normal things. I've worked with people who live with autism and they do normal jobs, and you would never know that they are autistic. And so on the reverse side, sometimes I visit home, and then you see people with similar conditions, but they are referred to as crazy people. And people looked at them differently.
Okay.
So I think the most important, what I'm taking from this show tonight, very importantly, is the stigmatization aspect of it.
So that's where the awareness coming, right? We need to create more awareness. Definitely. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing. Let's take this call on. Hello, you're on Spoon Talk. Speak.
Musa Kamara, and I'm a Liberian who lives in the Philadelphia area. I'm a board certified behavior analyst.
Okay, go ahead, Musa.
Yeah, I actually do run a small ABA company, and we actually provide ABA services to children between the ages of 2 and 21.
Okay.
So listening to this show today, this is very, very great. It's a great idea. I just want to say congratulations to everyone on there that is making this a possibility to bring awareness to our people in Liberia. I just want to tell everyone, if you see something that is atypical about your child, it is important that you do the right thing to try to get it evaluated.
Thank you.
The sooner you're able to get to this, the better you're able to get early intervention, and it could prevent a lot of things that will come their way when they become older.
Excellent. So can we share your contact with Vanessa so you can network? Because, it's going to take the whole community, the whole village to help to address this. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. I'm not sure. Maybe I can
text we got your contact. We share. We got your contact. We share. All right. Thank you. Let's take this other caller. Thank you. Good evening. You're on Spoon Talk. Speak. I'm doing well, but speak louder now. Come close to the mic. I beg you. I mean, talk loud, man. Okay, go ahead. Y'all can hear it? Yeah. I don't care you are. Speak right into the phone, I beg you. Okay, call back, please. Yeah, it's too low. All right. Lorena, if you got numbers from Liberia, let's take a few more calls. Then we want to go to the panel so we get some feedback from some of what they heard. Yeah.
All right. Good evening. Good evening. Hello? Yes, you're live on Spoon Talk. Welcome to the show.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Miata Jeffy, speaking from Oro.
Okay, Miata, go ahead.
I have a daughter. She just turned 1 year, 4 months. As I am noticing her at the age of 4 months, 3 months, I usually set my children down, but she couldn't sit down. I'm from Sano, really. So I brought her to SOS hospital, and they referred me to JFK. I took her to JFK. They said due to some development during the production, either the chromosome wasn't correct, so it caused that problem.
Hold on, we'll get you on a
So
minute.
she will be delayed in things. She will not be like the other children, because I have other 2 children before her. My children usually walk in 8 months. She will walk, but it will not be in that age. So as I speak, she just turned 1 year, 4 months. She just started waking up by herself. All days long, she been lying down. I've been fighting on her. She learned to sit down. But her back was not straighten. She was like bent even. But by the grace of God, she is straightening up gradually. Now she can wake up from the ground and sit by herself. She is trying to skin with things.
Okay.
I would really like God say for me at least to bring in school. Now, I will take care of the children in the future.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
If you want to accept me in school, that life will be different, like other children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Lorena, let's with the line is ringing off the hook. Let's take a few from here in the U.S. and we'll come back to you. But I want the team to be ready to answer why the Ministry of Health is not involved. How are they involved? What kind of help or lack of help you're getting? Because it's a major health issue. But we'll come to you. I want you to be thinking about it. So we'll come to you. Hold on one second. Hello. Yes, you're on Spoon. Speak.
Oh, okay. My name is Lawrence. I'm calling from Dover, Delaware. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, speak.
Yeah, okay. I do have a question. I'm not a medical practitioner. I want to know that what's the difference between autism and slow developmental problem? Because one of my kids was diagnosed with autism, and the other one was diagnosed with slow developmental problem, but they behave the same. So I've been thinking that I think the doctor make a mistake. But this program is very good when they go to Africa, because I've been thinking like in Africa we look down on people like this, right? Like I do a home service job and I work with a guy who got a house and he has autism. He's smart. He works from home. He got all his stuff set up.
So you want to know the difference between autism and slow developmental progress?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Who can answer that for us here quickly?
In the United States, we have a similar diagnosis. A lot of times, and they call it developmental disabilities. And a lot of times it's just saying we know something isn't right, but we need more time to figure out what it is. Okay. So I would keep pushing on that slow developmental disorder, or however that diagnosis was. Keep pushing at that and saying, okay, we're still slow. We need to know more so that we can get the support in the areas that we need.
Excellent. Thank you, Kathy. All right. So let's take another caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're on Spoon. Speak.
Hi, Dr. Bopler. Thank you for answering my call. My name is Albert Suba, based in Minnesota, but I'm in Mexico City, Mexico at the moment. So since we are talking about, since we're trying to throw, let's say, awareness on autism, I think we should address, let's say, the broad spectrum that has to do with like the ADD, ADHD, instead of, just basing on one side, because we don't want to confuse our people, because sometimes what the child may be experiencing and we would just be thinking it's just autism. So I would like the panel to kind of like give us the difference. Yeah, even though I work in the health field, but I would just like the panel to give us the difference between autism, ADD, and ADHD, so we can educate our people.
Good question. So we don't lump everything in one basket and then we misdiagnose and confuse it. Who can speak to that? 30 seconds. The caller. You heard the caller what he said. I know you're focusing on autism, which is great, and you can't cover everything. But if there's a difference, a demarcation, go ahead and just do it. Like Courtney, shaking your head. Let's hear you.
So especially when it comes to autism, ADHD, and ADD, they all can present very similarly. It also is very common for you to have autism and ADHD. Some of the key differences, though, a lot of times can be rigidity. So what I mean by that, if they are wanting to do things in a very specific way, a lot more motor stimming. But again, just like autism is a spectrum, ADHD and ADD also is a spectrum. So there's a lot of overlap, And that's something that I think that we can post maybe on our social medias from the organization as far as like what those key characteristics are different.
Good. Thank you. I think the big thing I'm hearing, I'm just a lay person, the big thing I hear in here, Lorena, is that every child matters, whether it is an American child or a Liberian child. Every child deserves all the attention, the help they need to get so that they can maximize their ability in all of the years that God's going to give them. All right. Thank you, caller.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So let's pause here. And Lorena, let's pause. Let's hear from the panel, talking health issues. We're talking equipping our schools. If not all the schools, we do everything one time, but some schools. So, like in every county, if there are 2 schools where the special needs children can be cared for, so I know I can come, and bring my child there. Let's talk about it. What kind of engagement have you had with the Ministry of Health? What kind of help? Is it energy you're feeling? Is it like a difficult thing? Is it just talk and no action? Y'all talk to us now. None of y'all working for the government, so y'all can talk.
We from doing our own research, we saw that the Ministry of Health started they started conversation around this February 17. So they had conversation trying to incorporate inclusiveness with like autism into like Liberia. And I know they're doing something April 2nd as well. There's like a lunch April 2nd is World Autism Awareness Day. So the ministry is doing something. We did talk to the director of non-communicable diseases, and she told us about that, and she invited us to it because we just sent out an invitation to our walk and our events. But our goal is to have a sit down and just explain exactly what it is and what are the plans that we have, because we want to work with them as well to incorporate some of these things that we're talking about, like ABA, collaborating with schools, because right now we have to help the teachers work with the kids. They need calming corners. They need to understand if you say 1 + 1 and you're just like 1 + 1, if John is saying 2 right away, that don't mean Peter is going to say 2 right away. So we need to collaborate with the schools. We did send a couple of letters to schools as well for the training, and schools are welcome to invite us over at their schools as well to train them, because the organization is all about training and equipping the teachers so that they can work with the students. So I know we've had a couple of conversations with Ministry of Health, and they are really receptive so far. But we haven't.
The minister proper, or just some people in the ministry?
That's the
okay, y'all reach out to Dr. Poto, the minister proper. This is big enough. Y'all reach out to her.
We sent out an invite as well to the minister proper. We just haven't heard back yet.
Okay. Lorena, do you have anybody? Let's take a few more, and then Dr. Tucker Kamara is going to call in. I mean, she just want to she was will be one of the panelists tonight, and she's one of those who we're very proud of, because she's taking initiative as a Liberian, left the U.S., the comfort of the U.S. Those are all who went back home. We know what it is. You leave all the good things there in America, and then you go back to Liberia. But that's what it's going to take. Liberians have to change Liberia. So we'll get to Dr. Talk about, Lorena, can we take 2 or 3 more?
Okay, so if you still want to, contribute, 077771075. Let's take you. Good evening.
Good evening, Sis Lorena.
Yeah, you're live on the show, sir.
Yeah, just a recommendation quickly.
Your name?
This is William McGee, William Hines.
Okay.
Just a recommendation. I think we are all focusing on the Ministry of Education. It's good, but I think it would be necessary that we get other institutions involved, like the Ministry of Gender and the Ministry of Youth and Sport. These are people that when you collaborate with, you can get something to get started. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take one more. Good evening. 077771075. We have a caller here. Good evening. Yeah. Hello? Yes, good evening. You're live on the show. Yeah, I'm Harry S. Cooper calling from Bangor.
My son was born with similar condition that one lady just explained when she.
Hello? Good evening. Okay, he left the line. 077771075. Again, 0777771075, 0555101075. Call us and make your own contribution right here on Spoon Talk.
All right, let me take one more. Good evening.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Okay, good. Yeah. So speak. You're on Spoon Talk Live.
Yeah. My name is Jerry UT Tarway. I'm calling from Maryland. It's just, I would not just say there's nothing related, but it's just unfortunate that a situation, a condition like this has existed for a good while now, and then people don't talk about it, created awareness about this. I live in the United States, and I work with people with developmental disability, and I understand the whole workings of this particular disorder. There's some people who just feel it's an illness and it can be cured, and they just don't know. So we need to create the awareness, like one of the panelists just said. April 2nd is like a day set aside to create awareness for autism. So we just hope that you guys who are involved with social media and all this, you need to talk a lot about this, because in Liberia, in Africa, just so to speak, we got people with conditions like this, and we just don't treat them. We don't care for them. Special need kids. They need to go to school too, just as it is in the United States.
Yes, thank you for your contribution.
So I'm just happy that you guys could just come up, but you need to do more.
Thank you. Good evening. You're on Spoon Talk Live. Speak.
Thank you, Dr. Boble. I'm Shelton, calling from Connecticut. The topic on the discussion is very interesting because I work in this field. I work for the Department of Developmental Services, and I listening to the panelists here, especially Kathy, she said something about the United States have not done a very good job, especially delivering the talk, but not delivering the thing. One of the steps America took was to first enact a law called the American with Disability Act. And I think the Liberians are on this platform to also start to talk to the legislature to see if we can enact a law that will protect and provide services for our vulnerable population, such as people with autism. And I think from there, the awareness and more awareness can take forth. Schools can be empowered with teachers that will understand, what it takes to, help children who are autism and all that. It has to start from the national level.
Correct.
Just looking at people making the awareness in community will not help too much. It has to start as a national discussion. And
So
make a law in that.
So thank you very much. Just so we're aware, there is a National Disability Act in Liberia right now, but quite frankly, autism is not even in the picture. It's mostly for people with physical disability, and we need to draw the circle wider. Thank you, Colin. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. So let's Dr. Tucket Kamara, and we're going to close with how people can get involved, because we're all getting exposed now, educated, we're fired up, we're feeling something, and then we'll go from feeling to acting. So you will tell us how we can get involved beyond just marching and being part of their wellness workshop. How can we contribute to causes that particularly will impact this population? But let's hear from Dr. Tucket Kamara. She was supposed to be on the panel tonight, and she has an autism, I don't want to call it school. She will can't tell whether she has a center, and I guess it's a school and whatever we call it. But let her talk, because she know the thing. I must say I know it. So call Dr. Tucket. While looking for her, I'm trying to get her. If any of you want to chime in anything real quick, go ahead and do that. I'm going to bring Dr. Tucket on in a second. Panelists. You hear me?
Vanessa, why don't you share more how people can find us and get more involved?
Oh, so anyway, so when I was introducing myself, I didn't really state much about the organization, but we're called Open Arms Kids Initiative, OKAI, and we are bringing awareness to Liberia for kids with autism. And we have our Facebook pages and our Instagram pages. Yeah, that's that one. I don't know, but we have our Facebook and Instagram pages, and we're gonna put it in the chat somewhere. But you guys can follow us. We have a lot of educational information on there. And for the callers that are calling and saying, my kid have this, my kid have this, my kid is going through this, I would say come to the screening on April 2nd. We're going to ask a couple of questions. Again, not every disability is autism. So when you come there, we'll ask the questions and we will see, if you need more referral. Again, the referral don't necessarily mean your kid have autism. It's just your score is quite high and we're trying to see how best to support you. So I would say everybody that's calling, everybody that's wondering about your kids, April 2nd, me and Judah, we're going to be at the SKD Stadium. And we're going to be there from 7 to 7 on that day, so you guys can come. And then Dr. Kamara will also be at the Invisible Park. And I know throughout Monrovia, there's different stations. She can tell us more about that. But I would say come to that screening. It's the first step. It's not like, oh, maybe my kid have this, maybe my kid have this, maybe my kid have this. Come. And then we can start having the conversation surrounding that.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Tucker is on the line. Dr. Tucker Kamara, who has an autism center, made a bold move to leave the comfort of all of the stuff she had in the U.S. and went to Liberia to help serve this population. So, Dr. Tucker, introduce yourself and share with us briefly. You're on Spoon Talk Live.
Yes, good evening to all on the panel. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Speak.
Good evening to everyone on the panel and
Good evening. Okay, she left. So Vanessa, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So that's you guys can do that. And then also this work, we are also accepting donations as well. We're fundraising for everything that we're trying to do. OKAI end goal is to open a special education school. That is the end goal, to have the curriculum part of things and the therapeutic side of things. So we need both of each at a school. So that's our goal. But for now, we're just fundraising for the awareness and just the walk and things like that.
Okay, before we go, there's also
yes, go ahead.
The awareness workshop.
That was a background.
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. Finish and then we'll get to the panel. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So again, I'm Dr. Catherine Kamara, and I run the Autism Center, the Elijah Luke Akanle Autism Center in Liberia, where we work with children with autism and other disabilities. The center is named after my son. His name is Ola. He's 26 years old. He's my first child, and he is an adult living with autism. 26 years ago when he was born, it was 1 in 99. And the research shows today that is 1 in 36. So for every 36 births, there's one child that will show signs and symptoms or will be diagnosed with autism. So this is serious. And as Dr. Brooklyn said, yes, 2 years ago, I moved to Liberia. We opened the center in 2023. We've worked with the U.S. Embassy. We take the Cigna insurance. And most of our people who are local cannot afford these services. But we do have a lot of kids there that do not pay. And I think Dr. Bruber was at the gala in December, where we usually do fundraising to help to facilitate taking some of these children in so we can reduce some of those negative behavior. By way of background, I'm doing autism as my postdoc. I'm presently covering my field hours in Liberia, and I do have a DCBA that is supervising me remotely. And I had to take 7 sequence courses as a postdoc to be able to sit for the BCBA. So I'm finishing up my last 2 courses. But I know that Dr. Boba asked about the support that we get through the Ministry of Health. And we don't know if they have support to give us, but I know that we have reached out to them, that we have had conversation with them, and they brought a letter today to us that we will be attending a lunch. But it was disappointing to know that nothing in the letter mentioned that there would be an autism screening across Liberia in 10 counties. That was very, very disappointing.
And they didn't know about that? Were they aware? Was the ministry aware?
Yes, the ministry is very aware of that. We have gone through conversation. They said they were going to do a walk, and that's fine. Multiple things can happen at the same time. We will be sending a representative to the lunch on the 2nd. And I am collaborating with the 2 ladies on the panel, Vanessa and Mrs. Moore, and their organization, and they are all participating. So a lot of things can happen, but it's very disappointing when the burden of a whole country for the first time to initiate a screening that would give us a huge sample of data to determine how many kids are exhibiting signs and symptoms of autism. It's very, very disappointing that you send a memo out and you do not mention it at all. You mention a walk and you mention a launch. In Morovia, we have targeted 10 counties, 10, with the exception of 5 counties in the southeast. Sano is one, and we couldn't get representative in the other 5. But all of the other individual counties are participating. Some of us go to Liberia to work. I'm happy to be there, but sometimes it can be very disappointing.
Thank you, Dr. Tuckett Kamara, for sharing. You know, the Liberians, those who are listening, those who are watching, they're applauding all of you. Yes, it can be a little disappointing, and actually very disappointing, when we seem to prioritize a lot of other things, or the human capital investment is low. You know, we talk all the time about America being the greatest country on earth. It is, but it's not the greatest country because they have the most powerful military. It is the greatest country because they make the single largest human capital investment than any other country in the world. When you invest in people, the returns, the dividends are immeasurable. And we as Liberians need to get to a place where we realize we have to make the investment in our children, make the investment in our schools, make the investment in our hospitals, and all of these things. Because when you do that, you invest in people. And people are the nation, and they give back. We need to wrap up. We only have 8 minutes left. So let's talk in the 8 minutes. And thanks to all those who engaged, those who called. We couldn't take all the calls, Lorena, from this end. So people texted, and we appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of it. Now we got to move from talking and listening to supporting and acting. Okay. So as we wrap it up, I'm going to give the panelists an opportunity to chime in, say your final comments. Make sure you put that pitch in for how you can be contacted, how people can get involved, and how people can support the initiative. I think Dr. Tuckett said something important. She said, all the people who come to a school, you can't afford it, but she does the fundraiser to help subsidize. So I think one way we all can help is to give to these courses, because Mayonaway and Mapu, Bayoga and Benedict, when they find out that the children have autism, whether in Banga or in Bapolu, they don't have the resources, but it can bring them to a place where they get the help. And then we who are blessed and able, got small thing, we can support the initiative and underwrite some of this. Let's hear from the panelists. We're going to do our closing here. So give us your final thought and then make that final call to Liberia, Friends of Liberia, Friends of Autistic Children, and how we can make this a better situation for all of our children. Let's start with you, Kathy.
As a final word, since Courtney is not apparently still here, I would just reemphasize what she said, and that is that we need to look at our children and our families with grace, and we need to be able to say, how can I help, and look specifically at what we can do. And the little bit that it seems like I could do today may make the difference for a child for their whole life.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Bonner, let's hear you. Close it out. Let's hear you.
I'll speak from two perspectives, as a parent and as an advocate. So one is, as parents, a lot of time it becomes very lonely because the community don't understand you. They don't know what you're going through. Sometimes there's nobody to talk to. So the awareness is key to give understanding to the general public so that these families are being supported. Sometimes they will even get abandoned. As for the upcoming program, we have the screening, we have the workshop. I know we talked a lot about the work, but we didn't talk too much about the workshop. There's also an awareness workshop for the general public on April 10th, which will be a Friday. And then for the walk, we have t-shirts on sale. The t-shirts are just $10. You can get your t-shirts. We have kids t-shirts for $5. And come and support us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Ms. Bonner. Okay, Ms. Stewart, let's hear you.
So for me, I just want to encourage other parents to paying attention to their children, to not be ashamed, to not blame themselves like they didn't do anything wrong. Their child was just born special, to just continue to love and support them. Get in contact with the organization, go to their pages, they can reach out. They should know that they are not alone. That's what
Thank you. Thank you I'm going to make Vanessa last. Let's Dr. Tucker is still online. So Dr. Tucker, why don't you give your final words and then we'll make Vanessa last.
We just want to say to the Liberian in the diaspora that have supported the initiative, some of the companies and our key sponsor for the screening, the ICA, which is Insurance Company of Africa, for coming in and making this possible. We want to encourage everyone in Liberia, all of the counties from Bomi to Nima to Montserrat, we have 13 locations in Montserrat. In Nimba, we have 4 locations. In Bum, 4 locations. Down to Cape Mount. And all the way Bummy, we have one location. But we encourage you, if you have concern about your child, to come out. The number was posted on the flyer that they have there. We asked them if they could post it in the show. Come and let's get your child screened, and let's get to know what we need to do next. And my biggest thanks to the ladies on the panel and these young women for what they're doing. They are amazing, and I'm in awe.
Thank you, Doc. We appreciate you. Vanessa, let's wrap it up.
Yes, we're so thankful to each and everyone watching. We're thankful for everybody that decided to join today. And we just want to say our message is very simple. Support this work. It could be in kind. It could be donation. It could be partnering. It could be showing up and learning. Support the families. Support the children and support Liberia. Our children with autism deserve to be seen. They deserve to be supported and they deserve to be included. Their families, they deserve hope, they deserve dignity, and they deserve real help. Not just, oh yeah, helping, real help. And with the right partnership, the right professionals, as I said, partnership is very important. We cannot do this by ourselves. We have a lot of counties in Liberia. Us coming, we cannot do this by ourselves. So with the right partnership, the right professional, and the right community support, Liberia can do better. Thank you again to everyone. Thank you, Spoon TV. And just thank you to everyone that joined this conversation. And to everyone listening, we really hope this is not where this conversation ends, but this is where it begins. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies. Incredible work you're doing. You know, the screening I think is important because it helps gather data, and when you have data, you can begin to respond. So you have no data, you know, it's like you're not there, you're non-existent. So I really appreciate this effort, and I'm so glad that you're in the counties because you know we got anything in Liberia where we think Monrovia is Liberia. Monrovia, our important city, but it's not Liberia. Everybody don't live in Monrovia. So you're out there. So we want to encourage people out there and want to create the multiplier effect. So all of us who are listening, all of us who chimed in tonight or hear about it, help us multiply the message. Tell people not to feel ashamed, to come for the screening, bring their children. So that's the beginning of help. We got to know you're there. And then we begin to help you. No voodoo business yet. That is it's a condition, and we can help with it. So I applaud you. You know, I'll be back by God's grace in Liberia in a short while, and you can count on my support. I absolutely want to contribute to this. This is a work I've been doing that for Dr. Tuckett. I want to do it for the greater group. Lorena, you have been outstanding. You're more than just an anchor here. You are a mother, an activist, and you're keen to this. Lorena, what's your last word to these ladies before they sign off?
I just want to say thank you. You know, I appreciate. I'm just hoping that autism, like she said before she left, this shouldn't be the end. It shouldn't just be celebration when it is Autism Month. You know, the policymakers should take this seriously, where they can partner. You know, the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, general, and also partnering with schools. You know, there are schools that are still saying that the problem when you go to some schools, they refer to some of these children as the special students. But there are other schools that don't have patience, and you know, with them, and so they are seen as you know different, even though they are different. But there are kids that just don't play with them. You know, they don't go near them, and teachers don't have patience for them. So now that we know that this is happening, I hope that you know school administrators can turn up, you know, and be there, and so that grab something, learn something. There can be more workshops created and seminars in all schools. And like you said, all South Monrovia, all over Liberia, so that every child can be reached in a community and even in the schools, and to be able to understand what autism is about and that they are special children and they should be given special care. So I thank the ladies. Thanks so much. God bless you through.
Thank you, ladies. Good luck in all your initiative. And good night from the Spoon Network. We'll see
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Broblev, so you continue.
Yeah, I think you can help the ladies off.
Yep. Sorry.
Vanessa and Miss Bonner,
Yep.
good night. We'll see you some other time.
Yep. Okay, so Doc, over to you. Are you bringing in analysts?
This has been an incredible experience. I want to thank CEO Stanton and TT and you especially for holding it down like this. You know, I was just reading. I can't keep up with the comments, Lorena, and it's amazing. You know, people are intrigued. You know, sometimes you come to a topic like this, you don't know what to expect because you know Spoon is known for doing all the those big political things and digging in areas and people look for. In fact, tonight people are texting me like, "My man, let's get to politics, man. Why kind of thing you're talking so?" But this super majority by far, they're like, "This is so good. We're learning about stuff. Let's do more." So I think we laid a foundation, thanks to the network, for giving exposure. Spoon is a partner. Good things. The goal is always, Lorena, to help build up and not break down. Everything we do here is try to help make the situation a little better. So we're glad we could talk about this tonight and then talk about our children tonight. And I hope the government would get involved. Supporting an initiative is not just giving money. It's strategically equipping the schools. In America, that's how they started when the Disability Act came. They said, how can we help our special needs children? So they need schools and they need teachers who are trained, to respond to them. Same thing in Liberia. Start by just training teachers who can deal with autistic children. You can't start all over the place. There will not be a school everywhere for autistic children. But if every county have a few schools with trained professionals to work with our children, at least I know I can carry my child here and I don't have to pay, because it is expensive when you go to a private school with a special needs child. So I'm grateful that we could do this tonight. All right, so today is Friday, and I know you got to leave the studio. It is Friday, you got to leave the studio. So we don't want to mess with your curfew. How much time we got, Lorena?
We have almost an hour
Okay.
because we shut down by 11. So maybe you can bring in the other panelists.
Yes. So let's do that. So to all my esteemed friends, come on. So let's talk. Let's shift gear here and talk what we like to talk. We said some small politics. So let's bring the panelists in. Gentlemen, lady, please, let's come in. Let's talk small. This is Spoon Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching. I want all the people who are watching and the people who are listening, I want you to really become ambassadors, right? You're self-appointed ambassadors for our autistic children. What affects one of us affects all of us. So talk to people about it. If you're still on the show, share the show, invite people to come so that we can talk some more. But listen, panelists, let's come in. Let me hit up the panelists and see who's in the back, and bring them. Maybe this topic, Lorena, was just so good. People just wanted to marinate in our spirit, and not mess it up with anything else. Because sometimes you preach, when the pastor preach a good message, you don't want to talk about let go or there for a meeting. You just want to let that thing sit in your soul and then go home with it. So maybe that's what we're having here tonight. We're having that kind of moment, where we had a good show. We talk about something that matters to us, our children, and maybe we should close there. Yeah, maybe we should close there.
Dr. Brobler, there are adults that also suffer autism. They grew up with it, here in Liberia, they were, cast aside. They weren't loved, not in the families or in the communities or even at schools, and they grew up like that, and they are older now. They just feel abandoned. In fact, they were abandoned, and so they are learning a lot here tonight. And you hear people calling and telling you that their kids, some people have children that suffer autism, and some of them wouldn't have come out. Some people are shy. They are ashamed. They think people would think, our way. Some people are narrow-minded. They say, that some kind of juju, or the mom play with something, or the papa play with something that it affected the child. So that, parents keep their children at home. But how long can you protect the child? You will get old, you will leave this earth, and the child will be grown, and it will still have to suffer. So it's a good thing. It's a real good initiative where people can come out and learn more. And if the government can come out, and other philanthropists and NGOs, local NGOs, come and just support this cause. It's going to be very important. You'll be surprised at the problem to see lots and lots of families coming out, and children, and even adults that suffer autism that will come out. And I like that they say they are going to be screening. And people might be wondering, how much they're going to be paying for the screening. And we learned tonight that there is a school. And there are people that they didn't know, that there are schools.
Correct. And I didn't even know until Dr. Tuckett shared with us when we met her in Liberia that, I'm here. I'm like, what are you doing? You visiting? He said, no, I'm actually here. Started school on the old way. I said, wow, for autistic children. And so we went and we visited. I mean, she got a nice thing set up. but you can tell because it's a special needs school, it costs money to run that. You got special equipment, stuff for the children here, and all those things. And you can't put a price tag on the investment, Lorena, on our children, but it costs. So if we get more of the school, how one in Eric County, they got a special needs school here where you can go there. Now we're starting to help. Not like, 20%, 50% autistic, but that percent is important, however small it is. And if we can help them to have a normal or somewhat normal life, to be productive citizens, we can show them that we care for them and about them. Speak to the character of who we are as Liberians. And so I personally am glad that could be a part of this conversation tonight, because I have been enlightened and I have been inspired to a greater level to support our children in this way. So Lorena, I want to thank you. I think we got that preacher thing here tonight, because I call them the panelists and not coming. I think we got the preacher thing, the good sermon tonight, and people just wanted to seep in their soul and go home. Nobody want to have a politics tonight. So I think
one question I didn't ask, and I'm still here thinking about it. If a pregnant woman can know if a test can be carried out, on someone who is pregnant, to know that child that they are carrying suffers autism. Is it possible? Or will it happen through, birth? When you are bringing a child into this world, at times there are some mistakes that do happen that lead to some of these crises or challenges that lead to children, they say, they suffer from autism or whatever it is, because we are having challenges when it comes to the health sector and other sectors. We know we are getting there, but all of these things are very important, but we never know. Maybe someone could be pregnant and suffer from autism. With a baby, an unborn child who already has autism, and they don't know. But I know, when we go at the program on the 2nd of April, we are going to learn more.
Right.
Especially, pregnant women could come out, right, for screening. I think pregnant women can come out for screening as well.
Lorena, you're very perceptive. When you ask questions, you ask some really good, deep questions that take us further. And that's a great question. I don't know the answer, but look, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to text you Dr. Tuckett's number. She's an expert in this area. And, you may have time you read to text her. But I think those are questions that need to be asked, because, almost like, if you do a sonogram, you can identify some things before the child's even born. If there's some things you can spot, early enough, is there anything that can be done, just, if nothing, it's just a psychological preparation that I'm about to have, Sarah, and Sarah may have some disabilities, the defect. I get myself ready. Even as I'm thanking God for my child, get myself ready, and I start looking for help before the child even come. Putting some things in place. So that's a great question you asked. I will send you Dr. Tucker's number. I would text her and let her know I'm sending her number to you. But I think you asked some very good questions. All right, so folks, there are all kinds of things going on in our country, and we are always concerned. Spoon is there. Even when we talk about Spoon is on the ground, and we're covering those things. It will circle back, and we will be on it. We'll speak about it, and the goal is always change for the better. For tonight, though, I think the network have done a great service to Liberia by just dealing with this issue. The awareness alone has been huge. And so we want to thank you. We want to thank those who watch. We want to thank those who listen. We want to thank those who hold it down. Like Lorena and others. Thank those who manage the network, TT and others. Thank you for all you do. Lorena, you got any final word? Because I want to close this show.
Well, I think we did justice to the show tonight. We can just say so many thanks to all of our viewers, our listeners, those who call. Some try to call, your calls couldn't come through. Those who share the show, and all of those comments. We saw real fruitful comments from those watching the show tonight. There are people they are so excited that such a program happened. This discussion, on the program. We thank you for being there. Some people created. They created, besides the awareness, they gave us lots of education. we are learning, and we appreciate you too for being there. Spoon Talk returns tomorrow night. Yeah.
Thank you, Lorena. And the interest was so high that when Liberians were calling my phone, the people, I couldn't, I tried to tell them hold on, and it just kept ringing. So for all those who call and didn't get to speak in the voice, Spoon is always here. Lorena said, Spoon will be on all the time. So you can always call a different time and say what's on your mind. You know how we start the show. We say, hey, what's on your mind? So if you had somebody really want to contribute to the conversation about that or something else, you can always call. Call tomorrow, at the beginning of the show, what's on your mind. So again, I want to add my voice to Lorena and say thank you. Folks, for all of us here at Spoon Network, we wish you a great rest of the weekend and good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night. All right. Well, that's how we come to the end of Spoon Talk for tonight.
Yes, sir. A special one.
We say thank you, all of you, for being there. We love you. We say thanks to Dr. Bropler and the team.
To get your information, to get my Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening.
All right, so Spoon Talk returns tomorrow night, the 28th day of March. We say thank you for being with us. My name is Lorena Honoree. God will not be back here next week, Friday. We are going to be in April then. It's going to be on April 3, the 3rd of April. But Spoon Talk is going to be on tomorrow night. You come and listen, come and watch, come and share, come and comment, come and make your own contribution. Make sure the show is relayed on your radio stations across your different platforms, and making sure that your own audience be a part of the discussion. My name is Lorena Honoree indeed. Always telling you to put God first in whatever you do, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
You from Punjama, Maryland to Tospo. Yeah,